Don't let slipping into bad habits convince you that you're still the old you. Bad habits don't just come back. They've always been there, waiting for a moment when you're tired, stressed, unmotivated, or distracted enough to let them slip by you again. And that's why consistency feels impossible, because the moment you finally start showing up for yourself, the old parts of you start showing up too. I'm Angeline, I'm 24 years old, and I've had seasons in my life where I felt so proud of the things that I've accomplished, the things that I've done. I mean, my habits were strong, my mindset felt sharp, and my routines were finally starting to stick. And then one small slip turned into weeks and months. But falling back into old habits doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean you're failing, it just means you're human. And intentional living isn't about a perfect routine or a perfect version of yourself. It's about recentering back to yourself every single time you drift off path. I had this video topic suggested to me by a lovely subscriber. I will put the comment right here. I thought it was such a good topic to talk about, especially since we're nearing the end of the year, because it's such a crucial time for reflecting and goal setting for a new year. And I definitely understand the difficulty of breaking old habits while trying to build newer, healthier ones. First, let's understand why bad habits creep back in. And it's because they are your brain's comfort zone. So basically, bad habits aren't random. They're actually familiar to your brain, to your body. They're natural to you. And in general, as humans, our brain loves what it already knows, even if it hurts us. It's something that you've learned throughout your life, what you've seen throughout your childhood, how you have learned to truly protect yourself in this life. So the moment that you're stressed, emotionally drained, or tired, or overwhelmed, your brain goes back to fight or flight, survival mode. What are the ways that I can protect myself here? Which is such a cute way of our brain trying to protect us. But a lot of the time, it goes back to the habits that we're trying to break because we recognize that they are not good coping mechanisms, but your brain finds it familiar, finds it comfortable, and has seen it work so many times that it just automatically goes to that. Because these habits once felt safe to you before you had the self-awareness, before you knew yourself fully. I want you to think of these patterns as your negative cycles. Give them that identity so that you don't identify with them. Sometimes your own self can be your worst enemy because you're always going to trust what you feel, and you always think that the way that you naturally respond is the right thing. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but your feelings are not always right. Just because it feels better to retreat or let go of everybody in your life and just be alone or ask a million questions to soothe your brain's anxiety, sometimes you cannot trust your gut feeling. This refers to your reactions, your responses, and the way you cope. Your brain is just seeking comfort from what it already knows. It's not actually trying to help you grow, and sometimes it's not actually on your side. It's on your old side, the old unhealthy negative pattern side. It's up to you to be aware of that and truly break that and create new, healthier, positive cycles. Intentional living is truly not about having no bad habits at all, too. You're not going to be a perfect person ever, but it is about understanding yourself and the way you react and why. Okay, number 2, I want to talk about why it feels like you're constantly starting over. And it's because you keep mistaking slipping up for resetting your life. You're not actually resetting and starting over. You're continuing. But because you think progress must be perfect, any slip up just feels like you're resetting your whole journey from zero. This ends up creating the all or nothing mindset. And this mindset is so unhealthy. It's so limiting. If you're this type of person, you probably want to be perfect at everything or just nothing at all. Like you don't want to do it at all. But consistency is not about never slipping up. It's really about shortening the gap between slipping and then coming back to center for yourself. Just because you've slipped up once or had a bad day or bad couple weeks doesn't mean that overall your progress is going downhill. You might just be in a slump. You might just be in the dip right now, because the way I like to think about my life is that it's a gradual uptrend. There's always going to be higher highs in life, and that also means there's going to be higher lows. The important thing is you're still going higher. Your next low will always come. It will always be there. But overall, you're going higher, you're progressing, you're growing. As long as you understand your intentions, you recenter back to yourself in a shorter amount of time, and you give faith and trust into your path with every intentional step forward. Another way to think about it is when those bad habits start creeping back in and you think you're losing all your progress, just continue to remind yourself that you're never going to be 100 to 0, but you can always be 80-20 or 70-30, because if 70% of the time I'm doing good, I'm fine, I'm doing the best that I can, I'm progressing, and 30% of the time I'm just sitting on my ass all day and I'm not really doing anything. If that's 30% of the time, but 70% of the time I'm doing good, then that's progress. If right now you're at 30% good days and 70% bad days, then there's something that you have to reevaluate, figure out what's stopping you and why, and how you can move forward. Sometimes too, if you think 70% of the time you're having the worst time, sometimes it might help practicing gratitude, because maybe you're overlooking the things that are actually working in your life, and you're overlooking your small wins, and you're overlooking the things that you naturally have in life that are helping you propel forward. You will always have slip-ups, okay? Nobody is always on top of things. And if they act like they are, they're lying. You know, there might be like a small percentage of people that actually do have a crazy routine, structured routine, but humans aren't meant to work like robots. And I'm saying this with passion because I got stuck in this trap for so long, thinking, what's wrong with me? Social media is literally curated to make you think that there's perfect things out there that exist. There's nothing perfect that exists. Also, sometimes bad habits creeping back in are meant to just humble you and remind you that you need to keep working on something and that you can't give up, because then you will go back to this version of yourself full time. And I don't think you want that. Finally, number 3, how to stay consistent with intentional living even when old patterns try to pull you back. Now that we understand why it creeps back in, how we can reframe our mind about bad habits and our negative cycles, now we can find out how to actually stay consistent. I wrote down 4 things. Number 1, interrupt autopilot mode. Consistency starts with awareness. When you feel yourself slipping into an old habit, I want you to practice pausing. It might feel really hard. It might feel like, no, this is the right thing to do. I need to keep going. But since we established the right thing that you feel like doing sometimes isn't the healthiest thing for you. Stand up, move rooms, change your posture, do some breathing exercises, do something else. Wait an hour, wait a day before you make a full-on decision. Let your anxiety calm down before you let those bad habits fully creep back in. Break your autopilot cycles. Be more aware of your reactions and understand your reactions and understand what's healthy versus unhealthy reactions as well. Truly, the compounding effect will work with this, because these small patterns of interrupting your negative cycle will slowly start to help you build a more positive cycle, and it'll keep compounding as time goes on. Number 2, create a return to self ritual. So all those productivity vlogs were right about one thing. Your consistency does not depend on motivation. And I'm not trying to say, oh, just be more disciplined either. It depends so much on a reset system. What I'm talking about here is when you hit those dips, how fast can you return to yourself, recenter yourself back in the moment? Do something healthy. Go clean, go on a 2-minute walk, no distractions, journal, take deep breaths and say some affirmations. Just sink yourself in the moment and find something to be grateful for in the moment. Even if you're so angry, the emotions are high, just take a second. Figure out how to recenter yourself back to the present, back to yourself, and remind yourself what's truly important here. Is this really worth my peace of mind right now? Because I've seen a lot of death in my life and a lot of change in my life, the way that I come out of these really high intense moments before I go into my bad habits, bad negative cycles, I remind myself of the fragility of life and bring gratitude back into my life and let this anxiety moment pass. Number 3, make your environment support your new identity. If you're becoming a whole new version of yourself, like all of us are here on this channel, we need an environment content that truly supports that identity. Step 1 and 2 are internal things to help bring you back to yourself, to intentional living, your intentional life. But our third point is the outside. So we can't control anything outside of us, right? We can do our best to make our environment support our identity in order to help us. And if your environment triggers your old habits, you will always get pulled back. Say you don't have enough money to move out, okay? In this economy, I totally understand, but your room is the same as it looked in high school, in college, when you were younger. Just redecorate your room, revamp your room, put some posters on the wall that remind you of the better version of yourself. Create a vision board for your life. I literally have a vision board for my laptop. The things that you consume on social media, place you live in, the area you sleep, it can all trigger your old habits. You need surroundings that make your intentional lifestyle the default choice, not the hard one. Whatever this means to you, set things up so that the person that you want to become feels easier to access. Number 4, redefine your identity, not just your habits. You heard it from me first. You can't out habits a low self-concept. What does intentional living mean to you? What does it look like day to day in what you hold in your possessions, in the relationships you choose to nurture? It's time to shift your identity, identify with a new version of yourself. Shift your language into I am someone who lives intentionally. I keep promises to myself. I show up for my future self. Identity truly helps create consistency. Today's journal prompt is, which old habit keeps creeping back in and what emotion triggers it? What does my return routine look like when I fall off? You know the drill. Go ahead and journal it on your own or let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. For a more intentional you, hit subscribe. And if you like this video, I think you will really resonate with this one. I'll see you guys there. Bye.